was
All
only
right, here we
two,
go.
and they were both people I knew. So.
And we are live, everybody. Okay, today is Monday, March 1st. Welcome, everybody. Thank you to the panel. It looks like tonight is ladies.
Here we go. And they were both people I knew.
And we are live.
Somebody's got a mute over there.
Today is Monday, March 1st. Welcome, everybody. Thank you to the panel. It looks like tonight is ladies. Here we go. They were both people.
That was Cynthia.
And we
I got you muted, Cynthia. Do you figure it out? Today is Monday, March 1st. We do have two other searchers we invited to be on the panel, so they may join while we are live. We will see. I did send you the invite, you two, if you can make it. Thank you to the panel, like I said. And let's have some fun tonight. Go ahead, K-Pro.
There should have been three. But that's what panels are about. Sometimes people show, sometimes people don't. There'll be more than enough talk tonight. So thank you all for being here. Yeah, I guess it turned out to be a ladies' night. So this is the second of our series and we're actually going to do the same topic as last week because we had that much interest. So we're going to be talking about the state of the chase, where we think we're at. We're going to have, for those, there's Adam. Some of you guys know Adam. So he's coming on. We might have one or two more. It's a little bit of a larger group tonight because we wanted to get everybody in for the last couple of weeks. Hi, Tom Walker. And he says hi to Cynthia. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go around the room because there was a new person, brand new to the chase, and it's like, I've heard about the Cynthia person. Who is that? And I said, tune in tonight and she'll introduce herself. Most of us know her. Most of us love her. Those of you that haven't seen Sassy in a while, name from the past. She is still around. And then Adam and Indy, of course, they have been around. And then Mike and I. Then we will go around the room and have everybody, after they introduce themselves, where are we at in the chase? What do you expect next? And then we are going to open it up to the chat room. So if you, as a chat person, put at KPro or at Cowlazars, the little at sign, I will be writing notes. See, I'm a good secretary. I can get, if we can say that, admin assistant. And I will write down and I will try to break in as much as possible. I'm sure time will fly by. But Mike and I did need to make a statement before we started. Mike needs to make a statement before we start about last night's show. Mike, over to you.
So I will say, if you guys didn't see last night's show, you should go check it out. Basically, the premise of last night's show was that somebody ran some online database where you find people, and that they had found that there was an address in Puerto Rico for Jack, the finder of the treasure chest. Well, we did that show and we said that show was our opinion, but Jack reached out to us and he was not happy. Jack says he, in fact, has not moved to Puerto Rico. That's the first thing he wants to make clear. But he was concerned that because we told people he did, there might be some mentally unstable people that would go down there and try and find him or something. I don't think we gave anything away in that show that would give anybody a location anywhere. I'm sure there's more than one penthouse down in Puerto Rico. But regardless, Jack, the purpose of these videos that we make, it's really for the searcher community. It's not so much for you. But if you felt the show was inappropriate, I will apologize, even though I didn't in my email to you. I'll apologize now if you feel for somehow it's inappropriate. I do know there are some mentally unstable people in the community. K-Pro knows that as well. And if we said anything that maybe that you thought might set them off, then I will apologize for that. But yeah, we're still going to do Forrest Fenn panels every Monday night, Forrest Fenn panels. Thanks, Adam, for coming on. The most hated drama queen, Cynthia and Jerry. Thank you for coming on. And you never know. You never know who's going to pop in and say hi from the searcher community on Monday nights. And yeah, that's about all I got to say. I don't think there's anything inappropriate in the video we did. But if Jack does, he's definitely entitled to his opinion. And let us know, Jack, because we are listening. So just like the rest of the community is as well. Go ahead, K-Pro, if you wanted to add anything.
I will add my own apology. I will say with best of intentions. How this is set up by Jack right now is the masses and masses and masses of emails that are out there. Some we try to verify. He was very kind with our database, that first database that we did. There was enough merit to it, and Jack did acknowledge that there is a background check service that is showing him living at the location that we had. So it was valid data, but there's a lot behind all of this. I just think that there's a lot of us. I remember when Forrest said, "Why is anybody still around? The chest is gone. This is done." This chase is bigger to some of us than that. And the 159 people watching and 6 people on the panel, I think shows that. And so with best of intentions, best of pure of thoughts, I put things out when I get excited about them. And yes, we've been spoofed. We've been sent up to different states and it comes out later that it's not the case. But I would never, ever put anybody in harm's way. Again, I have been through probably as much as some with things that have happened with crazy searchers. So I do apologize though if anything was incorrect. Any statement I get from Jack, I will absolutely make sure the community knows. So there was more to his note. If Jack, you want any of that shared, because I will say it was factual what I put out in my opinions. It wasn't trying to be disparaging, like why he didn't visit Forrest, etc. Any of that I am more than happy to disclose, but I'm not going to disclose private emails without his consent. So I did want to say I'm sorry, and I am sincere about that, but there is no malintent. We want to talk about these things. I don't know which of the hundreds and thousands of emails that are out there. So I go with the best information. And I even tried to verify. I went to some of those sources and information and they did verify the same thing. And so, but hey, it's out there. Jack says that. Jack has said he does not live in Puerto Rico. And I believe that now has saved the entire country from crazy searchers. So thank you, Jack.
I will say this, everybody, just a
They'll
reminder.
still go. They'll still
Yeah,
go.
they'll still go. I will say this to everybody. If you have a question for the panel, make sure you put at Cowlazars or at KPro in the chat. We will try to get to everybody. Super chat's on in case anybody has a question you just have to have answered. And thank you to the panel. So let's go around the room. Cynthia, I want to start with you, just in case anybody doesn't know who you are in the chase.
I am Cynthia, and I am not the finder.
And there it is, Sassy.
I'm Sherry, Sassy, whatever, and I am not the finder.
Adam.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you okay.
Yes. Hi, I'm Adam. I'm from the UK. I've been interested in the chase for about 5 years. And I'm fascinated by Forrest, and I'm fascinated by the community and the characters within it.
Nice. All right. And somebody you guys may have heard of, Chasing Indy.
Yeah, I'm Chasing Indy, and I'm the one that's still trying to find the truth for you guys. So I keep jumping down those rabbit holes, and hopefully one day we will have our answer.
Aren't we all? All right. I'm going to kick it over to you, KPro. What's the topic you want everybody to talk about?
Okay, so the topic tonight is like last week, but I think it'll tangent into different directions because of a little video that was put out by Miss Meacham over there. But so we want to start with, where do we think the chase is right now? Well, I won't say obviously. Some people think the treasure is still out there. And some people think Jack is or isn't the finder. Some people think a lot of things. So I won't make it an assumption that we all agree. So I will say, hi, I'm KPro, and I believe that Jack is the finder. I believe he actually went boots on the ground and found it. I believe that he has the treasure chest in New Mexico somewhere, and eventually I believe it will be up for sale, in my opinion only. And I think we're going to have a lot more in store for us, because in my opinion, Jack has slipped up and given a lot of information, and I think it will continue to roll out. I don't know why Jack's talking to so many people, but I think searchers are really interested and they're putting things together.
Marketing.
Yeah, because searchers, they have millions to be able to buy that treasure chest. That's the market he wants to. It doesn't make sense to me. Anyway,
You might have to piece it out.
And that was part of the presentation yesterday, exactly that. So for me, that's my introduction of what I think things are at. So Sherry, over to you, or Sassy as I know you.
Okay, well, you said there's a bunch of new people, and since the hunt is over, that's kind of weird. But those of you that don't know who I am the one who did find the David Blaine mysterious stranger treasure. So that was back in 2004, and it was $100,000, which goes real fast when you don't live in Puerto Rico and pay your taxes. But I started on the Forrest Fenn chase when it first came out. The November, it came out October, right, of 2009, and then I started it in January, February of 2010 with the first book signing, and then I dropped it because it got really freaky weird on TV, and weird people and lots of people looking for it, and all of a sudden there's like the boards blew up into this whole, you know, where you used to be able to like work on a puzzle with a few people. It like got creepy, scary, and so I dropped out of it. And then one day I was looking on YouTube, and there's all these people talking about the Forrest Fenn treasure, and I was like, seriously, Christy, they haven't found it yet? What's up? So
Yeah, so if you guys have questions of how it was in the very beginning, like Sassy's told some stories way back in the past where
he used to
it's like,
email us.
yeah, and like, oh, I went to the searcher meetup and there was 8 people there in Forest, because that's all the people that were searching for this thing. She was there.
Actually, there were 6 in Forest.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you have questions about that, I'm already getting questions. I'm putting them together. So Sassy was there, and she's had experiences. I don't think you said during the Blaine hunt after she found it. Lots of lawsuits, lots of crazy. So there's some insight there as
lawsuits well. And lots of crazy people. And I used to get on here on your show and tell everybody, just wait. When they find that thing, all the crazies are going to come out, and there's going to be lawsuits, and there's going to be crazy people saying, you stole my solve, and it's going to be a nightmare. And the poor winner is going to want to crawl in a hole and hide for the next 2-3 years. Not to say I told you so, but I knew it was coming. And so I just decided to lay low and stay out of Dramaville, and because Dramaville is still going on. It's now been 9 months, and it's still going on.
And it always will. Let me get this in real quick. 3D Bronze with a super chat. Thank you, 3D Bronze. He says, sorry, Jack. The answer to tell me where is not Puerto Rico. Try again, buddy. 3D Bronze has his own little treasure hunt going on, and I just put the link in the chat for anybody that wants to solve it. All right. Let's go over to Fender's Keeper since you just joined. You want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah.
Hey, who might not know who you are.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. Sorry, man. I was looking for the invite and I couldn't find it. And I was like, oh, there it is. So, yeah. Yeah, my name's Rick. I go by Fender's Keepers. I'm in Idaho. And yeah, I spent a lot of time. I was in grad school in West Virginia. I was kind of late to the chase. I looked at it like in 2015, 2016. And then I was in grad school in West Virginia, and I just graduated, and it was December of 2018. And my son came up to me. He's like, hey, Dad, that treasure, remember where that Forrest Fenn guy, that chest hasn't been found yet. So I was like, well, I got time. I'm going to look at it. So I started looking at it, and I just got hooked, man. So ever since then, it's been, yeah, many trips from West Virginia to New Mexico in a rental car, all the way back from New Mexico. I'm still a New Mexico believer, man. I don't care what anybody says. So I'm a little crazy. I know we've all got our solves. So
we're all
yeah.
crazy.
But good
now,
times,
how
man.
would I think probably every person in this hunt knows you, because how are you a part of our tribute?
Oh, so yeah, Forrest, I wrote Forrest's song for him, December of 2019. And yeah, he sent me the lyrics, and yeah.
So if you guys remember on the tribute, there was the song Memories that Forrest wrote, and there was this wonderful musician that put it into a song and made it the beautiful Memories song. That's what I call it, Memories. It might have a different title, but this is the person that actually wrote that. So I love to put a name to a face, because I've known your song for so long. I've cried to your song. So
oh, that's awesome.
It was
Thank
awesome.
you.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was really awesome to get to do it. Yeah. And I just reached out to him, and I was like, I mean, this time was a little bit different because it wasn't about the chest. Because I'm guilty. I emailed him a lot. I really did. Like boots on the ground. Like, this is where I'm at, Forrest. I'd always like, basically say, hey, hello, my silent friend. It's me again. And he emailed a couple times. I worked in Sun Valley when I was younger, and one day when I was really stressed out, I was in my hotel. I just had horrible boots on the ground. I was wet. I was soggy. I was cold, and I was like, dude, I don't even want to talk about Treasure tonight. I just want to tell you your Sun Valley story like really spoke to me. And those rooms in the Thrill of the Chase where you were showing the girl laying by the window, that looked exactly like my room. The way it was set up, the 2 beds and the bathroom down the hall. I was like, I was there. I lived in those dorms, those dorm style apartments when I worked there. And he messaged me, and that was the first email I ever got from him. And he just said, thank you, Rick. So it was just really cool. So the song thing was awesome because it was one of those things where he was. And I feel like we all knew he was kind of wrapping stuff up a little bit, or he was pushing stuff so quickly and moving so quickly on things that he said, and after he released his children's book, he was like, now it's, to write my country song. What did he say? A hot coffee in a cold cup, or cold coffee in a hot cup, excuse me. And so I just messaged him, and I was like, I don't want to talk about Treasure again, bud, but I'm a musician and I would love to help you write your song. That would be huge for me. And I would love that. And then he messaged back and he said, well, if I sent you my song, what could you do with it? And I was like, well, I write melodies and I play guitar and I sing, and my wife plays violin. And I was like, I could put a melody to it. And he's like, well, I need to talk to my buddy, Bob Hayward or whatever his name is. But he's like, I already kind of gave him the opportunity to do it, but he hasn't gotten back a hold of me. So if he doesn't get back a hold of me, he said, it won't take me long. I'll get back a hold of you soon. And he did. He got back a hold of me and he sent it to me and he said, here it is. Don't laugh. And I was like, dude, Forrest, why would I laugh? This is awesome, man. I'm so honored. So yeah, there's 2 versions. Actually, the one that I sent you, he sent me a message back and I liked that version better. And I actually ended up just popping off another one, like really hokey, kind of like, boom chucking, kind of like a country style, more of a country style song that because the first one that you guys heard, which I felt like it was really fitting for his memorial, he said that he's like, I kind of pictured it a little bit more upbeat, but I really love this one. And I was like, well, let me see what I can do. So the next day I whipped out a, kind of like a boom chuck in more country one. And he said, and I haven't ever sent you that email, but he said, you make my song sound good. And I was like, thanks, Forrest. Thank you. So,
Yeah, that was
yeah,
awesome.
it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah,
it was an
cool.
awesome opportunity.
So you guys all know him, even though you might not know the face. So Adam, you're relatively new to the putting the name to a face, but who are you, sir?
Well, I've been into the chase for about 5 years. I came across a Gypsy's Kiss video 5 or 6 years ago, and I've kind of been hooked ever since. Regarding where we are with the chase now, I think Jack is the finder, but not necessarily the solver, because there's a difference. And I think the community now is desperate for some real news, like proper, genuine news. And we've had none for so long, which is why we're going in all these different weird directions. I think the next news we'll hear is the chest has been sold to a private individual. But until we get anything solid, we're kind of in limbo right now.
Yeah, I think that's yeah, there's a lot of truth in what you say. Okay, Chasing Indy, who are you?
Chasing Indy. So where I think we're basically at the state of the chase is we are in chase purgatory. Basically, we thought that this whole entire thing was going to end all wrapped up with a nice little bow for us to move on and never ask again for Warm Waters Halt. But that's not the case. And I believe after talking to Fenn for as long as I did and getting to know him and talking to other people that knew him, I think there's more to the story. And I think that the treasure itself was just a small piece in what Fenn was trying to create for us. So I've been going down rabbit holes and researching, and I found some fun stuff last night. But I really think there's something more to it. I think Jack is definitely a piece of that puzzle. So I'm just waiting to see what's going to come next, because I think there's going to be a lot of surprises. Just like how Fenn said last year, there would be surprises. I think there's a lot more coming, and we just got to sit back and wait for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Awkward silence. Cool.
Excellent. No, I was actually talking, but I was muted. So, Davio, and then we will end with Cynthia because that's where we will tangent to our next. So, Davio, who are you, sir? Introduce yourself.
I am Cynthia's long lost boyfriend. I've been in just wandering Las Vegas trying to find her address. We had one great night, and I was never able to find the house again. And I've just been living in Las Vegas.
Are you really in Las Vegas? Or are you
I'm
in
just pulling your leg. I just wanted to make Cynthia laugh because she's so freaking hilarious. It was so great to meet her, I got to tell you. Really enjoyed meeting everybody there. And Adam, great to see you.
Hey, man.
Cindy, everybody. And of course, the cow. Oops, I'm playing poker. I have to lose real quick. I want to say about the chase that it's very interesting. Yes, Jack found it. Congratulations. Way to go, dude. We don't care. We want to know how you did it. We want to know how you did it. Take the gold, melt it down, and make a big thing around your neck. Whatever. You know, it's the idea is that how did you come to the parts? How did you come to that location? I mean, I am bothered that the man says he figured this out in 3 weeks when I've got, I started this in 2011. I got a grease board. I got boxes of stuff. I mean, how do you just go, he made a couple of mistakes in a video there. Did you see that? Excuse me, let me get my keys. What? I mean, so I want to know the process. What's the thing? What got him there? What's going on? Hubba, 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 hubba. And is it over? Well, now, isn't the location supposed to be a big deal? Isn't it supposed to be special? So there's got to be something about that location. I got some ideas. So I'm going to pursue the place that I have found, which is extraordinarily unique with all these rocks that look like dogs and things. And so I'm going to investigate that. Simultaneously, I've got another project in California. Oh, I'm leaving Colorado. I'm moving back to California.
Oh, well, that is in fact some breaking news from Davio.
That's right, breaking news.
Are you going back to where you in California where you were, or somewhere new?
I'm going back to Nevada City. I have got some friends who really like the idea of the what do you call it? The archaeological find I've got in California that is the sun serpent thing and all this stuff. So I'm going to see if I can't get some help and make a documentary on that. And then the second one I would do would be on these rock formations I found in Wyoming. Now, you know, my take is, did I figure something out from Forrest Fenn and find this really cool place? Ooh, ah. You know, my part of my brain says yes, but the other part of my brain says, well, maybe I just kind of happened upon a place that happens to have these things, yada, yada, yada. So I'm doing research in this area. And since I'm, you know, really dyslexic and not great at doing this stuff, it's extraordinarily slow. So, you know, I'm just plugging along doing the research. But I do think it's worth figuring out what the parts are. I think that's the fun. I don't care about Jack. He figured it out. Congratulations. Way to go, dude. It's the process. And I think that's the shows you guys are starting to do that'll be really interesting. You know, did he, you know, is page 15, I mean, is it significant to count all those words? I mean, does that really get you someplace? I mean, those things that stand out like that, I think are worth investigating. So I think you can have a show looking at the process that he created. Because it's an imaginative, fun thing. I mean, that's what we all were after, was the great distraction that the chase was. And I think we are always going to need that distraction.
Davio, if I'm not mistaken, are those the
Sure.
numbers behind you on your board? The Jack numbers, they are, aren't they? Have you found
Yeah,
anything?
I was messing around with that. I heard some ideas, and so I was messing around with them. So you got to remember, I'm really big on the periodic table. Why, I have a cape made of this. It's my teeth, actually. But you know what I mean? Is I have found all these things that I feel that you implement. You know, like music. I think music is big. So
Davio, can I just let you know that when I solved the David Blaine hunt, I'd only been in it for 3 weeks. And when I posted my solution, nobody believed it.
Aha.
So, you know, kind of some.
But would you say, in comparison, that they even compare? Wouldn't you say the Forrest Fenn thing is far more work put into it? I mean, didn't Blaine kind of?
No, the Forrest Fenn thing is just more obsequious. because there's no confirmers along the way, whereas
Well,
the David
maybe.
Blaine Hunt was specific puzzles.
Ah,
But nobody believed it. I posted it online a day before I even went to look for it. I posted the solution. Everybody knew what the solution was. And I had the orb in my hand, was going to meet David Blaine, and people still didn't believe it. So once they posted the website about a year later that showed the entire solution on it, some people still didn't believe it.
wow.
So
it took a year?
for the full solve website to get up, yeah.
Wow.
There's a
So-
lawsuit and all that. The little
because-
deja vu, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
Well,
one more introduction. Those of you that don't know Cynthia Meacham, you do now. She is here, and then we'll go around the room and start talking. But
Woman.
Cynthia, who are you? What, this Chase? You just got in 3 weeks ago? You haven't been around. Well, no. Who are you, my lady?
I said who I was. I'm not the finder.
She's not the finder.
No, you did. Come on. Is that
But
your
who are
final
you
answer?
really? Now that the chase is over, who are you really?
Actually, and I'm putting this in my next video, I'm putting the email in there where Forrest told me or says about me being his executive secretary, and it was in, I think it's 2016. And it had to do with actual doing media, not just being in the media. He was so inundated with requests to do media after Randy Bilyeu went missing. So summer of 2016 is when it really, really went crazy. And then when Harris Wallace, the preacher guy, died in summer of 2017, it just went even crazier. Forrest could not keep up, and he would just forward me the emails and say, take care of this. So I really, really did a lot of his email shit. And actually, I'm going to put this in the video, so Dan, now you don't have to watch it. But one of the things, and I have to look up the details, there was, everything was mostly short and sweet, and there was nothing to it. I just answer back and say, Forrest wasn't doing any kind of actual video interviews at the time, no face-to-face, email stuff only. And I actually, there's a producer who apparently thought he was important, who was from Hollywood, and I actually talked to him on the phone. And by the time I got done telling him I didn't care what his project was, Forrest was not going to do it, he slammed the phone down on me and basically hung up on me. So it's like, he was the only not nice person out of, and I'm talking dozens or hundreds of these emails, several a day. And mostly everyone was real nice, but he was a real dick.
Yeah, and there's a few of those even right now, those documentarians and reporters right now in the chase. So let's get the first elephant out of the room. Does Forrest Fenn give private hints to searchers, in your opinions? And anyone can answer. Anyone? Anyone?
Yes,
Well,
100%.
Yes.
If he gave,
Yes.
if he told Cynthia that he hid the treasure whilst in Cody in 2018, that he absolutely did.
So just to be clear, everybody, in case you don't know what we're talking about, Cynthia put up a video a couple days ago, Cynthia? Last
Sunday,
week?
yeah.
Sunday. And I'm putting the link to it in the chat. When we're done, feel free to watch it. And Cynthia, just give a recap of what the specific thing we're talking about. You say that Forrest Fenn told you this in what year?
The end of 2018-ish.
Okay. And what is it that he told you exactly?
Because I basically worked out of Cody all of 2019, or the Cody and the eastern side of Yellowstone and between Cody and the park.
And in 2018, he told you what exactly? So I don't want to say it and get it wrong. So
I don't want to say it and get it wrong.
I'll try to say it if you want.
The problem is, so because there was no context in my video where I explained the conversation, I guess I went back and watched it. And it's like, okay, people, I didn't explain what the context of the conversation was. It sort of made it sound like I walked in his front door and he said, "Oh, Cynthia, I want to tell you, I was in Cody when I hid the treasure." It wasn't like that at all.
I
We
thought
were
he
like-
called you out of the blue and said it and then just hung up. That's not true.
House, he knocked on the door. He said, "I have to tell you this, let me in." No. So it wasn't like that at all. It was during a conversation that he and I were having, and we were arguing about the best route to drive between Santa Fe for him to Cody or West Yellowstone, and me being in Rio Rancho and going up. And he insisted that I go the way he went, which was up I-25 to Casper, from Casper to Shoshone, from Shoshone to Cody, through the park to West Yellowstone. And he even told me that and he said to me, when he said about going from Casper to Shoshone, he said, and I even put that in my book. And it's like, so he and I actually were having a conversation about the route to go. And he was very insistent that I go that way. And I told him, no, I'm not. To West Yellowstone, I'm not going that way. I'm cutting up 550 from my house. And then it was a conversation, arguments, and eventually it came out that he was in Cody, and the reason, I mean, there again, he wasn't making a point that he was in Cody when he hit it. The point he was actually making to me, he kept telling me it wasn't safe for me to do these 14-hour drives because I drove it all straight through. He told me he and Peggy always stopped in Casper for the night, so it wasn't so long. He was concerned about my safety, that I was going to fall asleep driving. And then he went on to say, except for the time he was in Cody and he couldn't sleep that night, and he got up like at 2 or 3 a.m. and made the drive from there back home to Santa Fe and was home before dark. And then he made a really funny face and gestures. But
I do have a question from the
You
chat
didn't
room.
put it together then?
Oh, she went there. That's why she never left there. That's
Okay.
why some people kept following her and went, oh. So that's when you were before that in the West Yellowstone area. You moved over
yeah,
to the Cody
I mean,
side.
before that, I was already in Wyoming. I was already up in West Yellowstone and searching inside Yellowstone National Park. So Forrest and me having this discussion and him saying that, to him, I'm pretty sure to him, he's not telling me anything. I mean, I'm already up there. But what does it matter that he's saying what he told me?
Right.
So to you, you didn't take it as a confirmation it was up in Wyoming, the treasure chest?
Oh, for sure. He's damn right. I never left Wyoming.
And do you
Oh my
think
God.
that's how he meant it?
If you watch me on any shows, whether it was AGK or your show, and there'd be a panel and people would say, what state? And it was like an adamant, for sure, Wyoming. But it's still, I mean, I was already in Wyoming, so I didn't find it. So I actually don't see it as being a big a deal, I think, as everybody else.
What was the pivoting thing that switched you from New Mexico to Wyoming?
You need to watch the video.
Oh, okay.
Well, and so somebody asked earlier when you were saying,
So we should save that all for another time.
okay, so someone asked in the chat, when you were his executive secretary, were you paid?
No. No. Let's just say no.
Okay. One that came on early as well, and so I have been making notes. Can Forrest family check emails? I don't know if anybody can answer that. I have no idea.
What
Anybody?
does that mean? Like, check my emails?
His email, his forrestfen@gmail.com. Is anyone monitoring that email is what the panel was asked.
Oh. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been fired. He died. No, I shouldn't make light of that. I think he was actually just joking around with me, but I really did handle a lot of his stuff for 2 years. And then, well, I guess I was fired without him really telling me.
Not fired, maybe just promoted. Out. No,
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
well, that's a nice way to look at it.
So another question is, do you believe there is any info that Jack has actually given on his solve? And do we believe it? Like he's put out, WWWH was water. Where it halts is where it comes into warm water. He has put quite a bit out there. Do we believe what Jack is saying privately in private emails to random whoever emails him? Davio?
Yes, private random emails. That is a very interesting thing that he's doing, right? I mean, I've gotten to have a couple of emails with the guy. I think it's interesting how he answers. It's really banal. It's always just not really precise. I mean, have we found out that did I hear right yesterday that he is going to part out the chest, but he's never going to give away the solve? Did I hear that right? Is that a confirmed any kind of thing?
I can tell you what I confirmed last night. I had quite a few exchanges as we work through our miscommunication. Jack, I heard you. That it can be sold or it could be piecemealed. I don't think he's gotten that far yet. I think he's still working through. We do, even though the lawsuits are gone, this is my opinion, the lawsuits are not active at this point. There's still a statute of limitations. We have a little bit less than a year right now. So there's still activity that's happening that I think precludes him from making an active sale today. So, but the one thing I confirmed with him directly, because there was shenanigans of an email that said, I'm selling the solve with, this was a couple months ago. And he said, absolutely not. He will never divulge the solve or the final location is what he indicated. And anybody that states emails otherwise, it's shenanigans, and I can email him to get clarification if that ever changes.
So wow. So that would be the intellectual property is the actual solve, right? So he's saying he's not going to give that away?
That is what.
Or I mean, give it away. I mean, I guess that would be sold, or it's another book, or a movie, or it's something else.
He's not interested in a book or a movie. He has given one significant interview, and that's Dan Barbarosi with his book coming out in about 3 months. It wasn't live from what I understand the interview. I said that in last night's show. But he believes that the place could be damaged or trampled or whatever out in the forest. So that is the reason he is given. Forrest had indicated he would do whatever the finder said. I have my own conspiracy theories on that, but what do you guys say?
Here's the problem. Here's the problem, guys. Who takes one picture, 2 pictures of the chest? How many boots on the grounds have we all been on, right? How many times have we all fantasized about getting to the spot? Dude, there were times I was walking in, I was sure it was the day, like I'm sure everybody else on here felt the same butterflies, the same goosebumps, everything. Walking in, crossing the river, getting to the spot, dude, I'm documenting everything. I'm like, and this is where warm water salt, and this is all milk ground, and this is this. Why 2 pictures? So the problem is I emailed Jack, and I had a response from him, and it was actually like, it was really trite, and he was actually being kind of a dick, to be honest, because I emailed him, I'm like, dude, put it all to rest right now, man. Like, here's the thing, like, send a screenshot of your message to Forrest asking for permission to pick the chest up, black out all the other pertinent information, and then send Forrest response back to you, blocking out all the pertinent information. All I want to see is forrestfenn@gmail.com and Jack 12,000,59519, right? And in that info, he would not do it. And then what he said was, he specified, those people will never believe me.
I wouldn't do it if I were him either. I mean, who
yeah,
are you to him?
But in reality, I mean, this is like 6 emails back and forth, but he's emailing everybody. But why not just put it to bed? Why not give the closure? If he can't divulge the solve or the spot, why not give searchers a heads up and just say, dude, here it is, man, plain and simple.
Well, so that's a great question for Sassy. Sassy, you put out the solve before you actually went and got it. I do not recommend that to anybody, but you put it all out there,
really,
and you
really
still got
stupid.
No, but you still got sued. But doing it over again, would you have put the information of it was you? Obviously, he didn't want that out.
I wouldn't even tell anybody it was me.
Okay.
If I had to do the Blaine solve over, you have to remember I was a single mom with a very young boy, and I didn't have a boyfriend or any kind of protection or anything like that. And when the crazies started coming out and Random House is saying, oh, we're going to do a book tour and we're going to go on Good Morning America. And I was like, because they're already showing up at my house. They're already emailing me. They're already calling me on the phone and saying they're going to sue me. I've ruined their lives. Or the crazy people just throw eggs at your house. No, you guys already put out too much information on me.
Okay, so let me ask you a second follow-up then.
But today, with a Marine for a son that's 6'7" and 300 pounds, I'd put everything out there.
Well, let's say you were outed. Let's just say hypothetically, not related to the Forrest Fenn hunt, but you were outed. Would you be, if your position is initially, I don't want to be like Forrest and talk with searchers, what would the reason be that would you be emailing many searchers with random obscure things?
I know why he's emailing the searchers. He's lining up potential customers. If he can't get full price from a museum or a collector or whatever, he's going to have to piecemeal that out. No better place to piece it out to than the Forrest Fenn search community that would all enjoy a piece of the treasure, even if it's just a little penny. I mean, it may go for $1,000 and it's just a little penny, but it's part of the Forrest Fenn treasure, and people will bid that thing up the wazoo. And he's going to tease. He really doesn't want to deal with all of us. I mean, I'm telling you, he really doesn't want to deal with all of us. He's just making a marketing list. Your emails and your keeping it up into the community, keeping this going, keeping the interest up. After 6, 8, 10 months, it's going to be wound up into a frenzy. And if he can't get it sold off in its entirety, he's got a built-in customer base right here. And we're looking at all of us.
I love your perspective. I really do. I love your perspective, but we also have to look back and think about this. He wasn't planning on apparently emailing searchers, right? He was out.
Well, at first he was probably
shy.
Told he couldn't.
He was a shy guy.
He was shy.
He was a shy guy. Yeah.
But
I mean, it seems like it's been a great thing to protect the Fenn family, but if this is a way that you market something, I mean, if your intellectual property is the solve and you're not going to ever reveal it, what do you have?
Yeah, well, I have my opinion on why he didn't put out the solve, because I don't think he has it. I think he solved part of. I think he solved part of it, and in his, I think he what do they call it when you jam something?
Force it.
They forced it.
Yeah. I've always said.
I think he had the right general idea, and then I think he spent every trip that he went going within that 20-mile radius.
Forrest Fenn said that if you solve the puzzle, it would take you right to the treasure. He said that.
Right.
He didn't say solve the puzzle, spend 25 days walking around the same spot until you stumble across it.
Yeah, but then you have Jack saying
the ending.
If you actually found warm water salt and the Homa Brown, and then you couldn't on your first pass find it, if you knew you had the Homa Brown, though, you'd go and you'd look in that area. And I think that he's not interested in publishing the solution because he doesn't have it. I think he got part of it, and he just went and looked a grid over that area. And
so
good for him. Good for him. He found
right
it.
on. He found it, and no matter how he did it. But nonetheless, all of us who spent years trying to work this out would like a little validation that I had at least 3 parts right. That would make me extraordinarily happy. Yay, I got a couple of parts right. But at the same time, the location is always assumed to be important. So
what if it's in the park? What if it's in the park? See, that's
Yellowstone?
the problem. That's the problem that I had with mine that made me have to go underground. Is Random House said in the rules it was not on private property, and it was. So there's a lot of people out there that took exception to that and can take lawyers to it and make my win null and void. The only saving grace to it is one part of it said we have the right to reject, anybody. But Random House said it wasn't on private property, and it was. Now, what if it's in Yellowstone Park? That is not good.
In the search area.
But it's not good as far
It's
as trying to
complicated.
keep your prize. It makes things really complicated.
Yep.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Cynthia. What do you think?
Yeah, Cynthia, cut it out dominating so much. Tell us your opinion.
Yeah.
No, I just had two things to disagree. For one thing, Jack's already been offered over $1 million for the chest, and actually over.
It's worth way more though.
In piecemeal, you think if he sells each thing individually, he's going to get more than $1 million?
Oh
No.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, just the price of gold alone. Yeah.
Okay, I don't think it was, according to Matt's video that he did before it was found, I guess, or maybe right after it was found. It isn't, but okay, so whatever there. And then the other thing,
Well, Cynthia, what do you think of the idea that Jack won't give the solution because he really doesn't know it? Forrest slipped up in some interviews and he got a general area and he just searched the heck out of it until he found it. But he really, even backward engineering it, he's really not sure what the 9 clues were.
No, I totally disagree with that too. He's basically come out and given it. You guys don't know all the emails that he has given to other people. I have people sending me their emails, and I don't think it's in my place to tell that without getting their permission first. And one of the things that I want to do in the videos coming up, the permission that I do have, I want to go through the 9 clues, and not just me alone, but people who believe Jack. I just don't see anyone that doesn't believe Jack. I don't even know why you're still here. You still were back 8 years ago when everyone's just guessing. All we have is Jack. I totally believe what he's telling us. And
I agree with you, but
what some of you are saying, because you don't know some of the emails that people have written to Jack and the replies that he has gotten. And I'm not saying, and it's not about the actual spot or whether or not it's in Yellowstone or not, but it is specific to some of the clues. And this is what I want to do in my videos, is actually go clue by clue and take what, the statements that Forrest has been saying for years, my confirmation bias with the shit that Forrest has been telling me, and then the stuff that Jack has put out there in an email that can be proven. And he friggin' has answers for the big clues. And then back to you guys saying that he didn't solve it, and why did he just stumble around for 25 days? Because the friggin' blaze was ruined. It wasn't there. It was ruined to the fact that he couldn't recognize it, and that's why he had to keep searching for so long to figure out where that blaze really was. And he just answered in an email, and the look quickly down was still valid. That part.
But that doesn't mean that he can. He may have had bits and pieces and 3/4 of the pieces or 90% of the pieces, but if there's a little piece of it somewhere that he doesn't have right, and he puts it out there like I did, people will eat you alive. Yes, he's got it in his hand. I have the treasure in my hand. But if you don't do every little step and every little solution, and they will eat you alive. And I can see him being hesitant. It's really scary when you open up your email in the morning and you have not just spam, but 200 emails from people that you don't know that want to wring your neck and are demanding, not maybe even meaning to demand, but are demanding that you tell them everything right now.
Well, let's leave K-Pro out of it.
Well, I can tell you, I sent Jack an email yesterday with a link of a video, public video, that had his mother's name, picture, father's name, picture, his home,
creepy,
his brother,
creepy.
his entire background check, had it all out there. It was, creepy is
creepy. Whoever did that is freaking sick in the head.
But
Yeah.
let me ask you a question. Would you, that's managing by the 7%. There's still 93% of us that I think are all crazy. We're all crazy, but not crazy dangerous. Do we
Right.
deserve, not that we're owed, then you must, and I would never demand go to someone's home, threaten them, kidnap, any of that, but I sure would like it. And I hope I was a good enough person to say, Cynthia, you deserve some answers and closure. Mike, you deserve some answers and closure. Davio, you deserve that. That's not coming from a person perplexes me that there has to be something more. So let me ask one question that came from chat. If Jack sold the solve, gave someone full IP rights on the solve, how much do you think it would go for?
Just the solve, not the treasure chest, correct?
Correct. Just the
That's
solve.
an
And
what would go
minority.
higher, the treasure chest or just the solve?
I think
See,
Well, I
I
guess
would
it-
pay for the solve. I wouldn't pay.
I think it'd probably go for $1,000 or $2,000.
Well, it would all
Just
depend on the
Oh, it's a lot
format.
more than that. I
Yeah,
I was
I'd
going
go
to
for
say
more than
at
that.
least $250,000. We could crowdsource that.
I mean, I got a feeling if
Not worth it.
if it's in a story kind of form and it's performed by a big actor, yeah, I think people are going to go see an adventure movie. I think we all want to see something that's not people blowing up or backstabbing, whatever. It'd be nice to see Tom Sawyer flicks. You know what I mean? I want to see adventure.
You know what? Jack's all about getting
Indiana
the money.
Jones.
Jack's all about the money, isn't he? All Jack really wants, all he cares about right now is selling the chest. If he's clever, he should sell the chest complete because the money isn't in the gold; it's in the story. He
Yeah,
should sell
the story is
he
everything.
should sell the chest complete and with it include the solve. That's how he would maximize his gains.
Agreed.
Right, but
he's
okay,
not
so
doing it.
Sell
Adam,
the
let me
solve and the
let me
chest.
play devil's advocate. I think that's obvious, and Forrest has said he's a genius. I think anyone above 3 years old knows that that is absolutely the case. So there has to be a significant reason why he's not doing that. What would that be? I think it's because
it was
he's
found in
illegally-
Yellowstone. It was
Yes.
found in Yellowstone.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wanted to go first. Let me
Exactly.
do this. Billy Shaw Jr. sent a super chat a while ago, so I don't want to miss it. Billy Shaw says Forrest said a lot of things to a lot of people, and a lot of those people thought he was confirming that they were in the right area. So I think he's
Oh, yeah.
referring to Cynthia's story. But yeah, let's go around the panel. I just want to know if you think inside Yellowstone National Park or outside Yellowstone National Park, where it was
In-
found.
Inside,
Candy, what do you think? Are you there? All right, Cynthia,
talk.
inside or
I
outside?
can talk? Wow. I think inside.
Until we put something together that directs us elsewhere.
Yeah, I never, ever assumed it would ever be in a national park because it's federal land. And he's already said it's on BLM clearly in the book. So I thought it would never be in the park. My experience with national parks is it's their country. You can't do anything.
What do you think, Rick?
I don't think it's anywhere near Yellowstone, guys. I don't think it was ever anywhere near Yellowstone.
Puts it
I just want to say one thing.
Rick's
I know this is crazy. I'm totally conspiracy theorist, but dude, check this out, man. Why we all know how important numbers were to Fenn, especially military dates,
Precision.
Why release on June 6th on
Boom.
D-Day, the anniversary of D-Day, Operation Bodyguard and
Exactly.
Operation Fortitude? Why
Exactly.
do that? And here's the thing, guys. I'm sorry, and Cynthia, man, I love you. I've been watching your videos forever. I pretty much worship you, lady. So I'm not trying to step on your toes. I'm just trying to keep an open mind about this. Until Jack sells it, guys, I can't give it up because the stuff that I've learned and the stuff that I felt like I've seen from my solve and from where I've been, and obviously, yes, we love our solves, but I do believe it's that whole steganography thing, right? That Forrest Fenn loved to speak in the stories. It wasn't always just about the stories where boom, 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 truth, 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 truth. It was like, what was he saying in between the lines? What was he saying? What were the whisperings? Even like he said, watch the YouTubers for entertainment, but and whatever. But it's not the things they say; it's the things they whisper. And I think he was projecting that on to that populace, but he's speaking about himself. I really believe, in all honesty, if that's a possibility of the solve not being like, if he's saying the finder and I discussed that we should reveal that it was found in Wyoming. I think there's a wording that he used, and I think that the red herring and the Operation Bodyguard, which was obviously to keep the Nazis away from where they were, they didn't want them to have any idea that they were going to be storming the beaches of Normandy. So they set up fake they literally set up fake bases, blow up tanks that people could lift up with 2 people. Like, so from the ground, from a pilot's perspective, it looked like it was a fortified place. But in my mind too, man, like really, what is the Indiana Jones scene? Choose the grail wisely. What is the grail that everybody has always looked at because he talks about it all the time? Yellowstone, because those are the point blank words that he used. But I believe there is another spot. I really do. I believe it's a homegrown spot. I don't believe it's some huge, beautiful view with a waterfall and crazy stuff. I think it's a homegrown spot, somewhere that it's like you dig your hands in the dirt, you see it, like you're there, you're a part of it. The Indian culture, the Wild West, the stuff that he is, mountain men. You've got Osborne Russell, you've got Kit Carson, you've got
so why did Forrest lie then? You're saying Forrest lied.
Lied.
Here's the thing. I don't think that he lied. I don't think that he lied per se. I don't think that he told all the truth. And I think Forrest is very good at telling non-lies that are essentially white lies. And I just think that there's something more to this. And like, it would be, honestly, like if we had a solve and it was totally in Yellowstone and we were like, okay, there, we totally have it. But the problem is with this scenario is that none of us, it's always going to be open, because if Jack doesn't release something, he has had all this time. They had 10 days. They had 10 days to release pictures. And K-Pro, O's doing that thing right now. I'm on Thor all the time. I love your site. And O's getting ready to release the stuff, right? They're getting all, why is that last picture of the chest with the twig in there doctored? It is doctored, dude. Why is it doctored? Why is that twig in there?
I do want to make something clear. Did you hear Rick just say, Jack, if you're listening, O is leading an effort of photographs and the Photoshop. Oh, okay. I just wanted to make that clear.
All right. Hang on, Tassie, hang on. Adam, what do you think? Inside the park or out?
I get what Fender's Keepers is saying, but unfortunately, the most obvious answer is usually the correct one. And I think it found inside Yellowstone Park in Wyoming. I believe Fenn to be an honourable man. I don't believe that he will come out and flat out say it was in Wyoming when it wasn't.
Okay.
There's one thing that bothers me though, and that's I cannot for the life of me believe that Forrest Fenn said it was found in Wyoming if it wasn't found in Wyoming.
I agree.
I agree too. I believe there might be some misdirection and to throw the chase, but I don't think he would come right out and
but he was clear. He said that it was found in Wyoming. That's black and white. You can't spin that.
No.
And Cynthia, I'm still a little confused now. In your video, Cynthia, did Forrest tell you that he hid the treasure chest when he was up in Cody or not? Now I gotta.
He was in Cody on a trip, and I actually think Jack used the word business, but without verifying that.
But so what he told you, you can say what Forrest said to you. So Forrest said, when I was up there in the Cody, Wyoming area, that's when I hid the treasure chest. Is that correct?
No, it had to do with the conversation of driving and him saying about how he couldn't sleep after he did it. And he drove home, and he was in Cody when he drove home.
Oh, I missed that part. He was saying he couldn't sleep when he hid the treasure chest and he drove back home from Cody.
It's the only time he ever drove it straight through.
Gotcha.
Oh,
But when he hid the treasure chest. Okay.
He was all wound up, right?
So basically, he was in Cody when he went for his day to go and figure out somewhere in Wyoming, obviously. And then he came back, woke up early the next morning, and headed home all in one day because he couldn't sleep.
Well, the whole thing is, if you know the area, I stay in Cody and I'll drive the whole way across the park to West Yellowstone to have some lunch with someone, drive all the way back to Cody and be there, at supper time or whatever.
But how would he be home? Yeah, how would he be home by supper time though? If he drove all the way from Cody all the way to Santa Fe, and was Peggy with him when this happened?
Not home. He didn't go home.
Back to Cody.
Back to Cody.
Back to Cody.
Yeah.
Or did he? All right, Candy, you there? Candy, you're a conspiracy theory. Now watch, she's gone. You're a conspiracy theory type of person. I want to know if Candy thinks it was in Wyoming or not when she gets back.
He went to get wine.
For sure, Wyoming. Just Yellowstone. I do not.
Okay, so Cynthia, I'm going to tease this for you. Is there other hints that you have been given that you will be laying out within your Cynthia conversations?
You betcha.
Cool.
And Bobby D just wants a clarification, Cynthia. Forrest told you this in his own words. Bobby's trying to do did anyone ever hear Forrest actually say these words? And those words are that after when he hid the treasure chest, he drove back home from Cody, Wyoming.
He went, well, he tried to sleep, but he couldn't sleep. So he got up and drove home to Santa Fe.
From Cody, correct?
From Cody.
That's the important part. It's from Cody. Okay.
The conversation Fenn and I were having was the length of time and the distance from Cody to Santa Fe, or in my case, to Albuquerque, and that long drive. The whole gist of it was he was so concerned I was doing this. And then he did.
But I think Bobby's question is there anybody else that can corroborate this story? It's just you and Forrest when you were talking about this, right?
That's absolutely correct.
No, what I think Bobby's saying is Forrest, being the little coyote trickster that he is, when Cynthia's talking about the long drive home from Yellowstone or Cody, how she does it in 12, 14 hours is not a problem. And Forrest says, yeah, when I hid the treasure chest, I just couldn't sleep. So I drove it. He did. That doesn't mean from Cody. He could have been messing with you and be like, I drove a long way too.
That was the whole point. The word Cody was there.
Yeah, in the video, Cynthia says that. In the video, Cynthia says that Forrest told her that he hid the chest whilst in Cody. Is that correct?
Yes, not exactly in those words, but yes.
I think Forrest says things that we imply that he meant a certain way, and I don't know. I mean, you were there, so I guess you know. Cynthia.
No, but people say that about dipping your toe in it.
None of you people were there, and everybody in the friggin' chat room and you people on the panel are going to tell me what the conversation was.
I'm not saying, no, I believe you. I'm not saying that at all, like at all. I believe you 100%.
The whole point is, Cody, it doesn't matter. Cody is almost central to not so much in Wyoming because he didn't fucking hide it on the plains. He hid it in the mountains. Sorry, Christy. I told you I'd say it. He didn't hide it in the plains. Look on a map and see where Cody is. You still can go to the Wind River. You still could go to Lander. You still could go to Bighorn Mountains if you wanted to go there.
It's like 4 hours to everything from Cody.
The medicine wheel. Try the wheel.
Try the wheel.
You can drive
So,
well, but wait a minute. I can say flat out.
Cody and be back before dark in the summertime. It is almost
Right, but there's some other
nothing
bigger
over.
ones.
It's
Like
nothing over.
you were there with the whole canyon hint. And there's
Yes.
email confirmation afterwards on that. So if you want to hear about Two Searcher, you can use that for your series. Cynthia and I were there. I got it out of Forrest kinda, and there's email confirmation afterwards about it. We can sit here and say Forrest didn't, and because what's the word is crap. He gave out. Now he also gave out crap, so you never knew what he was saying. Like he said some things that we know wasn't true. So how do you know what was true and not true? I think what he told Cynthia was true because it's ending up being the case again and again and again. Didn't go in it. All you people that said it wasn't water, Jack told you
it was warm. So here, Bobby clarified.
It was warm. Okay.
Bobby actually clarified I was wrong. What Bobby wanted to know, Cynthia, and I think he's directing it at you because I think you've probably had more conversations with Forrest than anyone. After it was already found, did Forrest ever actually say it was found in Wyoming? What Bobby's getting at is the website says we agreed to say it was found. The location was Wyoming. Did Forrest ever confirm to you that it was found in Wyoming after it was found?
I was in Jackson Hole. Forrest sent me a personal email. It was in Wyoming, and he had sent out the general email to be put out on the blogs.
So that would be yes. Forrest did actually confirm. Now, what Bobby said is, did anybody hear Forrest say it with his own voice? I don't know if we could need to go that far. But if Forrest emailed you, Cynthia, to say it was in Wyoming, that's good enough for me.
And that's when he said, you're coming by to get your book. And we discussed, and that's when he said, what do you want me to put in the book and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I have an email from Forrest saying it was Wyoming.
Well, there it is, everybody. For everybody who's hung up on New Mexico, sorry. I don't know what that
Yeah, but the problem is with the way Forrest is, think about it. What did he say? Look up all the words in the poem. People don't know what words mean today. He would say that all the time. Look up Wyoming. What does it mean? Place of the big river flat. Like, so, I mean, I'm telling you, there's still an inkling until it sells, in my mind, I think that there's just weirdness. There's too much weirdness. I would love to see O's stuff, right? I want to see how that comes back.
Well, let's talk about that. None of you guys were in the Zoom, so let me give an update on what happened. So those of you that don't know, a gentleman named O, that is not named K-Pro, not named K-Pro, in case Jack's watching, not named K-Pro, and Goldilocks. Goldilocks isn't K-Pro either. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox. They decided to put an initiative together to fundraise because they believe that there is photoshopping of some of the pictures, and I think there's about 8 to 10 pictures out of the treasure chest, Jack and Forrest, all those pictures. So they fundraised. They thought it was going to take a month or two. It took, I think, 6 days. They got $2,000. For anyone who donated, they were invited into a Zoom. Mike and I attended the Zoom, and in that they went over the potential people with all of their credentials, what they would deliver, their quotes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then we went over the actual pictures and which two, because it's going to be 2 pictures, not all 8. Were they photoshopped? What was photoshopped, etc. Jack has already come out to private individuals, so I don't know if this is true. Jack, if you'd like to comment, I will be more than happy to take a comment. But the information I've seen is he's already said he's taken a picture of a picture, metadata's been wiped, you're not going to get anything from it. There is more analysis that can be done. If something is tinkered with, the resolution changes. I don't know, magic happens, and there's people that go into courts that testify when something's tinkered with. So it has been down selected to, I believe, everybody that was in there, I think there was 8 or 9 people, all agreed on the company that is the most famous, the most secure, the most leading edge. Which pictures I actually had to leave in the middle of that discussion. I think the chest at the location is a no-brainer. But what is the other one? Is it the one with Forrest with all the goodies in front of him? Is it the one with Forrest and Jack? I don't know how that ended up. But it did come out that they need a couple $100 more because there's a report fee that also, like, they'll analyze the pictures, but to get it in a digestible layman's terms format needs a little bit more. So they're going to try to fundraise for the couple $100 more that they need. That's where it is right now. But once that happens, it is a very quick process, meaning it'll only be a week, 2 weeks. I mean, it's not going to be 6 months down the road. And I'm going to be clear. I do not believe this is going to give us anything more than they tinkered with lighting or they tinkered with, but I don't know what I don't know.
It doesn't. It'll say altered. So like if you crop the picture, it says altered. And then if you undo it because you didn't like the cropping and, oh, I'll recrop it again. It'll give the timestamp and then it'll say altered, but it's not going to say what you did to alter it.
No, but it will.
It shows anomalies, and it shows like white line from copy and pasting anomalies. There's a lot of stuff that it can show.
If something was cropped out, they
and actually, if you take that picture, yeah.
But that's not what's going to show up on your, because when I download from my camera, it goes straight into Photoshop. So it's automatically been Photoshopped. Okay. And then I've seen the reports because I used to work for a lawyer, and we've done this before in court cases. They do not say something was copied and pasted. All it says is altered. You don't know how many times it's been altered and the date and time stamp. But
will they tell you specific parts of the photo that have been altered?
Yes, it divides the photo into a grid.
I think that would be
helpful.
And
not only that, the resolution changes every time you do that, so you can actually see some of the shapes that were altered. They went through all of the capabilities of this new whatever software.
You don't get to see anything like that. The report comes out and it says altered. It will give the quadrant, but the resolution changes every time, even if it changes from the moment you download it until the moment you put save. The minute you put save, the resolution changes again. So all it says is altered, date and time. And it gives like little numbers like 4.2.13.09 or whatever, which is the quadrant information or whatever. So it won't tell you that somebody was cropped out or that it was blurred. It just says altered.
Right. So this is, to me, then why is there a concern? Why is Jack potentially maybe upset about, like, if it is going to work its way out, and I actually believe at the end of the day, we're doubting.
People are doubting his credibility, and he gets pissed like I did. You know,
Then
I guess.
email the thousands. Don't email me that.
But the problem is
sorry.
you had to solve,
sorry.
and you also had the Blaine treasure in your possession. So
Yeah,
Jack
I
doesn't
know,
have
but
the
it's
treasure
still-
in his possession. It's in Santa Fe. He has a Santa Fe attorney. Dude, it's shady. And then it's a picture of a picture, and he didn't take any other pictures at the site. It's just,
Now that one's a little much.
He said that
better. Yeah, he took two
It's like-
pictures.
I took.
The tree limb accidentally flew in there. He didn't even remember it. He took two pictures. He doesn't remember if he took any more.
Yeah, well, I've been there, done that, and
Did
I
you
don't
take more
doubt
than
him.
two pictures when you?
No, I only took one. I took because there was like police, and we were on private property, and we were trying to get the fuck out of there. So no, we took one. I took one picture of my son holding it, and then when I got home, I took more. But I mean, you know, I don't blame the guy. Everything's coming at him, and not just this community, because there's every family member that he has on the planet wants money, and every neighbor wants you to bury their mother, and every teacher of your kid wants you to give a donation to the PTA. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
it's not just dealing with the Forrest Fenn community. There's press that want to deal with them, and he has been ordered by his attorney or whoever to say no comment until we get all these lawsuits dealt with, which is, you know, what I was told.
And let me just say
everybody's
this. Yeah, go ahead.
It's just coming down on him.
Right.
I feel so bad for him.
So we did get a super chat from Rooster Cogburn, our Las Vegas brother. It says the conspiracy narrative is getting old, right? So I'll say two things. Get ready, Candy, because I'm going to go to you if you're back. I will say that I think one of the reasons Jack got upset with our last show is we made it sound, which was our opinion, that he didn't want to meet with Forrest for some reason. And I don't think we made it sound that way. I think what we said is we don't know. You didn't make it back, obviously, before Forrest passed away. So if there's a reason, a reasonable reason, in other words, if there was a reason outside of your control, then we get it. I mean, but come out and say it, you know, tell everybody why you didn't make it back.
With the information that we have, which is incomplete because Jack has set it up this way.
Right.
It seems that it wasn't a priority. I could tell you, I would walk through fire and relocate to Santa Fe with my children on my back to get the final time with Forrest. I didn't know if there was a fire, but you didn't have to walk through it. You needed to relocate. It didn't seem to happen. I know that he's given me additional information. I haven't been given permission to share. It doesn't seem that that was the priority. I met with Forrest. I had 2 kids, 2 dogs, and a cat, and my entire truck filled, and the Santa Fe Police Department on my back trying to say, no, you're not allowed here during COVID because I wanted my time with him. I would have walked through fire, and I don't even have the chest or the frog.
Thumbs up for K-Pro, everybody. Okay, Candy, going back to Rooster Cogburn super chat, you're a conspiracy theory kind of person. And I think you were one of the first people to say, hey, Jack's emails are those numbers, they convert to letters. There's a message here. So what I wanted to know is, do you think it was really found in Wyoming? Or much like Rick, do you think something else is going on here and there's some kind of misdirection or more to the story that may or may not come out down the road?
Okay, firstly, 100%, I think it was in Wyoming because Fenn, he may be someone that embellishes, but he would never send somebody the wrong way, right? So he already knew that his time was pretty much coming up to an end. So I think the last thing he did was at least tell people, Wyoming, you've got the state Wyoming to work with, because he knew Jack or something's going on. And Fenn always taught me, if you don't know what a word or even a name means, look it up. Find out where it derives from, the origin of a word. And if you look up the name Jack Stoof, it literally translates to mean senseless talk and supplanter. A supplanter is someone who takes over the place of someone else. And it just so happens, as Fender's Keepers said, D-Day. It was found on D-Day. D-Day is military code for putting a new idea or a change in action or a plan in motion, right? That's really weird. Then you have the day Forrest Fenn died, which was Labor Day. That represents the, appreciation for teachers. And we know he always wanted to be able to teach someone, right? It also represents the last day of summer and the beginning of school. He tells you that in Love with Yellowstone chapter. Then you have the day Jack Stoof came out as the finder for the name, and that was Pearl Harbor Day. This is all pertaining to war history, my war for me. He's trying to convey a message, and he found a way to do that. And I believe with Jack and his email, which actually is an A1Z26 cipher, so A equals 1, Z equals 26, take those numbers in his email, they give you letters. Anagram those letters, it actually says Jack hid cash. So try and tell me that after all that information, all dived into one, there's not something else coming. Why do you think he's getting weird? He stopped emailing me when I brought this up to him. He is spooked because there's a lot of us in the community that are very smart, and we know it's not just going to be a terrible ending. Some random dude found the chest and it's just the end of it. You're never going to know where Wilmer's halt. No, there's something bigger to this, and it's a good thing that something's happening, and a lot of us are piecing it together. So I think that's why Jack's just not happy about Puerto Rico.
Did get another super chat. Billy Shaw Jr. He says, if I'm Jack, I'm thinking people are watching Forrest after the announcement, and I'm not going anywhere near him. I guess that's a valid concern.
Okay.
That
Did you see my response? I would have shaved my head and gone 007. I would have figured out a way. I'd dress up like a horse. I would be, I would be the maid that shows up. I would be the delivery person. You find a way. When people were going crazy with their hate stuff from a couple years ago, Forrest is like, when we meet, you're not going to be K-Pro walking up because he was concerned about all that, some of the haters that were local. I just made sure I had a cute little hat on or whatever. You found a way.
Does Jack have any health issues?
I don't know anything about him personally, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that, I would have dearly loved to gone to the poker tournament in Vegas. I had the money for a ticket. I could have done it. I can't get on a plane because of my health issues and COVID. And I was just wondering if he has any medical issues.
He got on a plane and got the treasure chest.
Well,
he took a plane? He flew there?
Or a rental car and drove cross country. He stayed in hotels. He traveled during COVID.
What state is he from?
Michigan.
Back east. I don't know.
Oh, Michigan? He's
somewhere
right
somewhere.
above me.
See, I thought he was Pennsylvania. I don't know.
From Michigan, but I don't think he lived in Michigan at the time he found it. But we don't know, and we're not going to go into where.
In other words, he's coming from as far a distance as I am, and he did that previously during COVID. Okay, that makes sense.
So here's a question from Milan in the chat. Milan, and this is kind of directed at you, Cynthia. Milan says, remember when Forrest got all bent out of shape when he gave a special hint about a dam, or warm water salt is not related to a dam? He leveled the playing field by telling all of us. Why didn't he do this after telling Cynthia about Wyoming? What do you think that is, Cynthia?
Christy, why don't you take it?
Cynthia is one person of many, many, many of us that is finally coming clean that we got secret hints. She is trying to say, here's the information, and I am fine saying there are quite a few, and you don't have to secretly record me in Forrest's den to know he gave secret hints to many people. You guys can try to discount her. I can tell you I was with her when some of them happened. She was by herself and we talked about some of them. I got some of them, and there's a whole bunch of the rest of us, and you guys can call us cheaters or whatever you want. Forrest liked us. Forrest gave it to us. Forrest said to us, here it is. Please don't tell anybody. Private, confidential. Some are in email, some are not. She is 100% correct. She has the balls to come out and say it and get the heat for it. I called her and said, did you do what I just think you did? Because we've known it for years. You guys just found out Santa doesn't exist. For some of you that didn't think so, I'm sorry, he doesn't, but it's his rules. Some of us knew it. Some got the hints and then played. Other people were doing it. You got the hints too, because Forrest told me what he told you is hints. So he gave hints. It didn't help any of us. It helped the genius Jack go and get it. I don't think Jack was given anything, but Cynthia was. I was. I know at least 10 of you. I've seen them in emails. I know what you guys got. So don't pretend. And
Can you
Mike
go
was
back
not
really
one
quick?
of
I want to give kudos to Cynthia for manning up.
Oh, I
and-
agree. Yeah.
Because that's a scary deal, and your character just
You know
Just
what?
goes up like this. You
I,
know?
for one, Cynthia, I'm really looking forward to your series of videos. I think they're going to be fascinating. I can't wait to see them.
I need to address this before I forget. The video has nothing to do, the gist of my video isn't even about really that he told me it was in Cody. That
Right.
video is just starting in Cody and trying to figure out what Jack has told us to go either into the park or somewhere else in Wyoming, piece together the information that we have and find where it was. That
Yep,
video was
but I meant here.
to be about him telling me he hit it when he was in Cody.
Well, guess what? For those who did not have conversations with Forrest, they may get upset or surprised to know that he did have conversations with people. And Forrest chose who he talked to and chose who he did not talk to. Candy, what super secret hints did Forrest send you?
Oh, so many secret hints. I mean, he asked me, "Are you going to go bathe in my swimming hole?" That's super secret, even though we got an entire chapter on that in this book called Too Far to Walk. Then there's this other one where he said, and I quote, "I never said that the home of Brown had nothing to do with trout, because the people like to run their mouths about that." So make of it what you will. Fenn liked to talk because he knew we were little conniving, plotting, manipulative, like fence searchers. So he would tell us whatever the hell he felt like and then watch us take that information and run around with it. And if we were wrong, he would not correct us. That's the point of the game.
That was all part of the game. I thought that's exactly right.
I told him that I was starting at Agua Fria, and I got an email back that said, "Oh my God, best start ever."
You know what I would love to know?
Yes.
I would love to know what what Cynthia's doodle meant. Jumping over that ravine with the gold in the back pocket. I would love to know if that was a clue.
Dude, he did
That's
that over and over and over. He did that. If you Google search that image, it is there. So many books. Same
What
thing.
was
There's a
he
ravine
trying to
across.
tell people? What do you think, Cynthia?
Jump.
Well, are you talking specifically about the one where he put the little gold chest in my back pocket?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that was the one that it had already been found. It was in July after he just announced it was in Wyoming. And in that email, he said to me, "What do you want in your book?" And I said, "I want a doodle with a hint if I was close."
You know, let's get it. Let's make sure. I'm sorry, go on.
Let me finish real quick before I forget. When he handed me the book at his house, I looked at it really quick, and it's like, oh wow, really cool doodle. But the gold chest in my back pocket was so small, I had to go back to my hotel room and put my reading glasses on till I found it, and I was so ecstatic because it's like, now is it a hint, or even if it is, how do you interpret it? I don't know.
Wait, I'd like to address two comments in chat. One of them is, so you guys harassed him for hints. The second one is, you guys cheated and still didn't get it.
Yeah.
Here's the first thing. I never harassed him because he invited me over. He sent me emails when I actually got affected by the troll comments. I didn't email him. I just said, "Look, things are getting too hot. I'm just going to leave you be." And he would email me and say, "Why haven't I heard from you? You are a friend. Stop just focusing on the chase." So that's my first comment. Cynthia can respond too. And it's not cheating if he set it up this way, just like it's not cheating that we're sharing Jack's emails between us. That's not cheating. Jack has set it up that there's only private emails and like one random article that we're going to share it amongst ourselves. Jack, you set it up this way. Don't be upset if people start sharing the email. And Jack, I know one guy that has 5 different handles, and you're emailing him 5 different times, 5 different ways, and you think it's the same guy. Okay.
Yeah. So that's a perfect analogy. Jack is doing exactly what Forrest did. Forrest, it wasn't just me. You guys have no idea how many people he met. So in the first probably at least 6 years, before Peggy's health declined and he had to be home more, he was able to meet searchers, whether it was downtown subscription, in Santa Fe. He met searchers all the time, lunch, and not just ladies, tons of guys as well. And what boggles my mind is he tells one person and I don't, if you want to call it a hint, whatever, obviously none of it was enough for all of us to put it together to find it. So he'd tell one person something. He'd tell Christy. He told a lot of people about the warm water, dipping your toe. He just used different variations of it. But definitely
don't forget about the doctor. He did the same thing with us with the freaking doctor.
Wait a minute. What doctor is this?
Wait, Indy, what do you mean? What doctor?
Give us some context. What
But you're exactly right, Indy.
The other ones real quick before I forget. The other one is that Homer Brown cannot be a structure. You guys have no idea how many people he told that to. Only I'm the one that shared it on Dale's. Then it goes to Chase.
Yeah, I figured. Give me an 8.
Firestorm in the history of the chase. And everyone thinks it was just me. It's like, no, you guys have no idea how many people. But the really funny thing that I never could understand is
That was a good call, Doug.
how could Forrest keep straight who he told what, so he wasn't telling the same person too many. It's like he scattered them all around, believing that we're never going to talk to each other. And because
you women ganged up on poor little Forrest, you twisted his arm, you made him say things that weren't true. That's all I got.
Wait, wasn't it a guy that secretly recorded him for many, many hours? Wasn't it a guy, not the ladies?
That's
Sorry.
true.
You know, if I'm 80 years old and I've got women who want to come out and hang out and talk about my treasure hunt, what am I going to say? No, I'm 80.
You'll write him a doodle, won't you, Davio?
I'll draw you a little something. Gosh, I mean, I mean, I'm 63, and I'm like, wow, the waitress talked to me. So bloody hell, if I've got women talking to me because I wrote a book, touchdown, I'm going to put out a few more, so I think it's cute.
This wasn't just a hunt. This was a form of entertainment for Fenn because
truly.
His family was there, but they weren't really there. He was like, I'm bored. No one wants to be around me or talk to me or hear my stories. So, I mean, what would you do if you were like a millionaire with this evil, like mastermind, evil genius brain?
That's
and
right.
You can just tell people whatever the hell you wanted. I would have a freaking heyday with that. And
I
that's
think
what
He was
Fenn
very
did.
smart. He knew, in my opinion, I think he trusted too many, but he really knew who to trust, in my opinion. And he knew that that's what people want. I mean, why would he say to me, like, he said, "Where's your solve?" And I said, "Well, my first solve was Madison Junction." And he goes, "You and 100,000 other people." I mean, he loved it. He lived for it. He had fun. He wasn't harassed. He had a good time with it. And when he didn't want, when he was, I mean, I had hard moments with him where he was pissy at me sometimes, but at the very end, when he held my hand and said 2 weeks before he died or a couple weeks before he died, and he said, "I never knew for sure that you were a loyal friend. Thank you." And it was like, okay, that's cool. But everybody wanted to hit that. Did you ever see him at an event? He had the hawk circled. It was just anything
Raining,
he
remember?
said.
He liked the attention, as any of us would. I mean, right? All right, so let's get back to a question. I'm wondering, this is for the panel, for everybody. Do you think Shiloh was in the room with Jack and Forrest when those pictures were taken? Yes or no? Shiloh in the room. And do you think Shiloh knows where the final location was? Yes or no? Let's start with Rick.
I don't know if he was in the room. I'm almost positive he probably knows where the final location was.
All right, Candy?
I mean, come on, you saw Shiloh. He was so sweet. He drove his grandfather around for everything and did everything for him. So, there's got to be like a 99.9% chance he was with him in the room when those photos were taken. And in regards to the location, I think that, yeah, he does know, but not because he was told. I think he knows because he knew his grandfather more than anyone. And all he had to do was just take a moment to think, and he would understand what the story was. And that's why he's not bothered by any of this.
Davio?
Yeah, I think it'd be like my great grandfather did with his grandson. Is he took him out on a ridge, sat down for lunch, and said when he came home, you know, when I sat you down for lunch, I showed you where the gold is. So I think Shiloh would know, but not really know. In other words, I think it would be someplace he brought him because it's special to Forrest, right? I mean, it's a special place. So his daughters, Shiloh, they all probably have been there, but not know, you know, the significance of what it meant.
Okay. Adam?
It's impossible to know if he was in the room, but like Candy says, it's a high possibility he was. Regarding did he know where the chest was? I don't believe Forrest told anyone where the chest was. I don't think he told anyone. So no, I don't think he does know.
Sherry?
I would assume, since his health was declining, that Shiloh was around to help. That's an assumption, but I'll say, yeah, I think he was in the room. As far as whether he knew where the location was, I don't think until after the fact, but I agree with Davia that I think that he might have been to the location and not known that that's where the treasure was. If it was truly that special to Forrest and his family, chances are they'd been there at one time or another over the years.
Yeah, someplace they would have gone to visit, right? And not know it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Maybe. Cynthia, what do you think?
Absolutely, Shiloh drove him. That was his Starbucks cup in the corner of the picture. Forrest told me he didn't have to drive anymore. He had people to drive him anywhere he needed to go. And I don't think Shiloh knew the place until Jack showed up with the treasure. He was there. He heard the story of Jack. He heard Jack's story with telling Forrest, either in the house or in the lawyer's office where the pictures were taken. So I think Shiloh knows now, but I don't think he knew until it was found. And I believe that there is someone that has information that actually can confirm it, but I don't have their permission, so I will not say more.
And to clarify, that's what I meant, is that Shiloh knew after the fact. I don't think Forrest told anybody before it was found. So that's what he always said. What do you think, April? Shiloh in the room. Does Shiloh know now where the location was?
Well, when Cynthia says that, my answer was going to be no, that he knew his days were numbered. He wanted to keep his family at a distance. I don't think anybody in his family knew. If anybody would have, it would have been Shiloh, but I don't. My stance is leave Shiloh, not saying Cynthia, but Shiloh knows nothing. Leave him alone. He's just too adorable to mess with. That sounds weird.
What about the Shiloh? What about the discussion we had in my truck on the way to Operation Nook?
Shut up! That's what I say.
And what was this discussion about?
No, I just think it exposes Shiloh. I will say that there are some things that I wouldn't want to say publicly because I still think there's opportunity for really, really not well searchers to go after, especially Shiloh. I can tell you, I do not believe there is any chance that Zoe, Kelly, any of them know. Shiloh maybe, but I know what you're saying. I just want to, I may be a little melancholy. I don't know what the right term is because I just know Shiloh's taking a beating.
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
And
right.
Also, so one other quick thing about the family members, people think that it's special because maybe the family was there, Shiloh was there, Peggy was there, blah, blah, blah. There is actually, I just got this from someone who replied to my video, who had exchanged emails with Jack, and I hope he doesn't care that I'm going to say this, but I won't reveal his name. And basically his question was something to Jack like about it being special because of Peggy or the daughters or whatever. And Jack's reply was, The poem starts off as I have gone alone in there. Jack,
Ooh.
Somebody sent us that email too. I remember seeing that.
Jack
Ooh.
basically
Yeah.
Yes, they
said,
sent it privately. Yep.
not a special place because of other family people being there.
Well,
And
that's
it
pretty,
even
pretty
went
clear.
And it even went further to say there was a conversation with Forrest about that. And that's the stuff I hate to say, Jack, if you put that out to everyone, these private emails that are going everywhere, do you know how much the whole community would just buzz about that rather than you're a conspiracy guy or this or that? You have some pretty incredible stuff that you could share. In my opinion, publicly, not these private emails. I will say Cynthia, myself, I think Mike just doesn't check his email. I think he gets them. There's some of us that get a lot more of the super secret emails that everybody's getting. And why that's only benefiting a few. That's not, and then I put one out and it's like that one's fake, or that one's this, or that one's that. And it's like, okay. So anyway.
Super secret emails. Okay,
I've got
clarification.
some super secret emails that I didn't want.
Milan has a clarification. He says, I'm not upset you all got hints. Kudos to you all. What Milan was referring to was, I just wondered why Forrest got concerned that Dale revealed the hint about the dam, so he felt obligated to tell everyone. I didn't know that Dale revealed the hint about the dam, and that's why Forrest put it out. Does anybody know that story? Because I'm not aware of it.
That was the blog that put it to. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't said to Dale. It was said so Forrest said it to a searcher and then sent it to Dale to post so it would get out to everybody. I mean, Dale was just the vehicle.
Okay. I thought Milan meant Dale was involved somehow. Okay.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I think there was a lag, and it might have. I think there was a lag though, and it might have gotten out before. Like, and I'm the first to say, but Dale might have had that happen. Cynthia's been caught in those storms of she put something in her book that made Forrest go, wait, you shouldn't have put that in your book. Well, you should have mentioned that 6 months ago before it was published, and I gave you a copy of it. We want to tell stories, Cynthia. Do one of those.
What was the comment that Dale published?
WWWH is not associated in any way with the dam.
Yeah.
That was not known at the very beginning.
I remember Forrest saying to level the playing field.
I beg to differ. I beg to differ, because that was a conversation that went on during my first half of the hunt because of the Eagle's Nest Dam.
Yeah, that was it.
That's probably Sassy's probably the reson why he had to share it with everybody.
Damn it, Sassy! I knew it was another woman. It wasn't Dale. It was Sassy.
He got it out of him. Another one that forced him into it.
Yeah, but it was not just me. There was other people involved. I mean, there was other people that knew that it was not associated with the dam.
Right.
So, I mean, but that was 2011 through 2012. That goes way back, the no dam thing. No, I'm saying DAM, not DAMN.
Right.
So
like,
Billy should.
There's some of those. There's been some of those. Well, dip your toe in it. That came out without my consent or Forrest's consent or knowledge. That was, and I didn't know if he was just messing with me or not. That was a dip your toe in it. People to this day talk about, and was it dip or tip or this or that, and everybody talked about it. Was it a hint? Was it a hint? Now I know it was a hint. I didn't know at the time.
And I told you he was just messing with you.
A lot of people said it's not water. You've just been messed with. Now we know, or if we believe Jack, it has been said that Jack has said it's water and it's warm. Dip your toe in it was correct then. We didn't know it at the time, and man, it was a shitstorm.
And Billy Shaw Jr. kind of voiced what I think maybe a lot of people are thinking right now, and that is, if one person knows something, it's fine. But if a handful of people know, Forrest needs to put it out. All I can say is it's Forrest's game, and he did what he did the way he wanted to. He talked to who he wanted to talk to, and that's about it. We don't have to like it, but we got to live with it.
Another one from the early days was that it wasn't near a fish hatchery. Because early on, somebody got in trouble for going to the fish hatchery on the river.
Forrest never put that out, though, officially.
Oh, he didn't put anything out officially back then. He went to book signings with 6 or 8 people, and everybody just talked to him.
Exactly.
You know, that's how it was back then. And, you know, oh, no, 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 don't go tramping around the fish hatchery. Yeah, that and graveyards, outhouses, dams, you know,
Structures.
well,
Structures.
Man-made
Why don't we
structures.
talk
Man-made
about
structures.
man-made structures?
Man-made structures.
Outhouses got turned into man-made structures, and I think it was after there was a gal that was really, really into it. She would like dress up in the almost look like Indiana Jones. She had a hat and safari outfits, and she would go to those early ones, and she would post about something about the rattlesnakes in the outhouse or something like that. And he was like, good God, what are you doing going into an outhouse? Back in the day, there wasn't this big, huge audience or community of searchers. There was just a few people on Facebook. It didn't even make it to 12 back then. I mean, it was not that widespread until it hit that airline magazine.
Yeah,
So-
hemispheres. Yep.
Yeah.
So-
But Mike, did you ever see it on 12 back in the early years?
Through
12 was still around then.
Oh yeah, I was on it for Vegas Dive. That's how I got on 12. Back in 2008, this would have been is when I got
Yeah.
on 12. Yeah. I think the Thrill of the Chase was on there after that. I know. Well, 2010 is when it started, right? I think it took a
Yeah.
while for it to make it to 12. I think 12.8.
Because I remember looking for threads for it on 12 and not finding anything, but did find stuff on Facebook. So
Right. All right. Here's a question. GL Cannon basically says, if Jack knows, you saw it, K-Pro, right? If Jack knows and possibly Shiloh knows and the lawyer knows, that's 3 people who know the location. How many people can keep a secret? So to
And
the panel,
Jack's lawyers.
And that's one
there's
is
4.
and that's what I'm going to ask each one of you. Do you think the solution will come out from somebody other than Jack? If Jack has a family, if Jack has friends, he had to share something with somebody. Even if before he found it, I'm going to look, you tell somebody where you're at in case of an emergencies. Somebody knows where he was searching, right? So we'll go around the panel. And do you think it'll come out outside of Jack? Who wants to go first?
I'll say right now, yes, but I think it's going to be a while. It's going to be until he's been able to sell off whatever he needs to do and take care of all the legal stuff and just let it all settle down. The crazies start disappearing. I'm sure eventually it'll come out.
What do you think, Candy?
I think that Fenn wanted us to figure it out regardless when it was found or not, because that was the whole point he did this. It wasn't because of a damn treasure chest. It was for people to go out, explore nature, and discover story. So yeah, I think they're still trying to figure it out, and he wanted it to be figured out.
Rick?
Yeah, I mean, I think he said it himself that, it's eventually going to come out. I mean, I think that it's important to remember too that he said, they would be surprised. They'll think, why didn't I think of that? So I don't know. I'm not going to go into the conspiracy theory hall again, but yeah, I think it's going to come out eventually at some point. Yeah, definitely.
Cynthia?
I hope so. And I think the best chance too is after he sells it and it's totally out of Jack's hands, whether or not he's the one that releases any information or whether it's the person that ends up with it. Hopefully we'll get it sometime.
And Cynthia, you alluded to in your video that you're still looking for the location. You think if enough people get together, we can be able to figure out where it was retrieved, correct?
Jack's actually given a lot of good information. I mean, and for me, the fact that he actually, in one of his answers, he actually says it was in a place that had Forrest's heart, and then in ramblings and rumblings, and this is what I had in my video about Forrest saying, enter Yellowstone, that's where my heart is. To me, that was Jack directing us without telling us where it is. Now, can we find it? I mean, and is that right or not? I don't know. We won't know probably until, I don't know if we can know without Jack actually confirming it.
If anybody finds the location on their own, it's going to be Cynthia.
Well, it won't, but it won't be me by myself. I have other people working with
I'm getting in her truck again. I will not let her leave the city.
I'm
without-
working with.
Well, whoever you take along with you, my money,
I'm
I
not
would
working
put
with
it
her.
on.
I'm not working with her.
I think I need to go this time. K-Pro can stay home with the kids.
My money's on Cynthia and her entourage.
I'm not going to stop looking until Jack tells us where it is or someone else tells us where it is.
Well, you could find the cash that he hid.
I'm sorry?
What?
I said you could find the cash that he hid because Jack hid cash. He obviously left something up.
Actually, I don't
Yeah, you mean half of the chest?
They asked about the treasure chest.
Yeah.
Now that the bracelet's not in it, that was the only thing I
Yeah.
cared about. Or cash. I want to know Fenn's special place. And that's the driving force for me.
That would
I
be
only
the
wanted
closure
the
for you.
frog.
I need
I only wanted the frog, and the frog's good.
Yeah. So why not? You know, you search all this time, and it's like, why not open the stinking olive jar? Are you not that concerned about the story that's in that olive jar? That would have been my first thing. I don't care how much it would have depreciated the
He had
value.
a conversation with Forrest. I think Forrest disclosed to him the secrets are not in there. That even shows more. Jack, I'm not saying this in a derogatory way. Jack is about the money portion. So that's why he kept it sealed, because he has said to many people in many emails, I had a conversation. I know what's in that olive jar. And I think Forrest took out the super secret information. You have to go and see Cynthia for that.
You know what? Remember my friend from the auction house said that would be more valuable unsealed because it would be incentive for the buyer would get to open it for the first time.
Yeah.
It gives it more value. So, yeah.
So,
I
Mr. Cower, are you saying that Jack has alluded to you all that there is something left behind?
No. All I'm going to
Thank
say
you.
is his email, Jack hid cash, but that could, according to Jack, that's a coincidence. So I say that in
Did somebody say there was an
Okay,
award?
good, very good.
Right.
I'm here for a check.
But isn't that an interesting theory that maybe he would have left something behind, like, let's say, dog tags? I mean, that is on page 107 of Too Far to
No,
Walk.
he flat out said he left nothing there.
Nothing.
because
Yeah, he did say that.
He did say that.
He did say that.
All right, Davio, Shiloh in the room. And do you think Shiloh now knows the location?
Does Shiloh now know the location? I'd say there's a high likelihood. Was he in the room when that went down? Has there been any indication that he was?
I thought the question was, do we think the solve is
took the
eventually going to
picture?
come out?
Oh, that too. Adam. Oh, yeah, you're right. I think that was it, wasn't it?
That was
do
a
you think
question.
the solve will eventually come out outside of Jack?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
So that alludes to something being left behind. I mean, you can never prove you're in the right place unless there was something there. And if Jack said there is nothing there, and then we're at this conundrum of we can never prove that you've actually found the location. So if Jack's not going to put out the information, how do we for sure know it's the actual spot? I'm curious.
That's a good point. Even if somebody else, like a source, comes out and tells us where it was, how are we going to know? How do you know?
It would have to be a latitude and a longitude. I mean, it'd have to be so exactly precise on, the location, right? I mean, no, we're not.
What do you think, Adam? Do you think it'll come out outside of Jack eventually?
I don't think we're going to hear anything whilst Jack owns the chest. I think once Jack is relieved of the chest, we're going to get answers. I think we'll know by the end of the year where the location was. Not through Jack, through somebody else.
God, I hope you're
Wow,
right.
that'd be a great Christmas
I agree.
present for a lot of
I
searches.
agree, Adam.
Didn't we
I-
have
just
information
wish.
via Jack that he said he was either confirmed that he knew what the Homer Brown was or he knew what the blaze was, and it took him 2 years to figure out exactly where the chest was because the blaze in question was damaged, therefore it did not look like what he thought it was. That meaning you can find a picture of the blaze in the book. Doesn't that sound
I was
accurate
with you
to
till the
you?
last jump.
Did-
I was with you. And then you made a jump. on
So
that.
you're saying that Jack figured out what the blaze was before he went boots on the ground? Does he confirm that?
Yeah, because he said in an email that he knew what the Homer Brown was. Even Susie Fenhaven did a whole video
Homer Brown.
on
That's
that.
right. Homer Brown.
And what's funny is that then he says it took him 2 years to figure out what the blaze was because it was damaged. Therefore, if you read into that, it means he knew what the blaze looked like. Could possibly mean it was the Homer Brown, in my opinion. But he knew what he was looking for. He knew what the blaze was because he saw it in the book. And then he went there, it was damaged, and he didn't know until he finally was like 2 years later standing right above it. So that's interesting. If he's saying either the Homa Brown or the Blaze is in the Thrilla Chase, that means we can find it too. We don't have to stalk Jack, and we don't have to go crazy over that. We could just open the book and look with our eyes and see what we can find with that, in my opinion.
Okay, I want to answer the question though. Jack knows, Jack's attorney knows, Forrest knew. I believe Peggy could have known, but maybe Shiloh. And then let's just throw in some other random person. So at least 5 people, maybe 6 know. In the next, Jack is a young guy. Is he ever going to fall in love and maybe give that to, maybe is he going to get drunk one night and maybe slip a little bit? Is he going to, we can go into 100. Is he finally going to maybe 10 years from now go, maybe I will give an interview and try to sell, whatever that is. I think there is no doubt in our lifetime, this is going to come out. And maybe it's Shiloh that gets drunk one night. Maybe it's one of the lawyers that even though, and they'll get disbarred for it, but maybe it's going to be them. Maybe it's going to be somebody anonymously because they're sick of watching our show 5 years from now that finally puts it out and says, shut down your damn channel now. The solve is out. It is coming out. 2 can keep a secret. If one of them is dead, the one that is talking, Forrest is dead. Love you, but it is true. And all Jack is doing is talking. I don't know if it's because he's lonely or it's financial or whatever. He's talking and the others know too. It's coming out. It's coming out.
Did Shiloh actually, was it ever confirmed that he did try and work on the puzzle a little bit, or?
I don't think Jack's ever read the poem personally.
Not Jack, Shiloh.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I remember hearing stuff before that Shiloh had actually gone out searching for it before. I think him and buddies had gone out before and done that.
Because I think if he's actually been a searcher, I think that he would be most interested in the solve. And I think at this point, Shiloh probably knows the solve.
Or at least the
And he's
location.
young.
Maybe the 9 clues haven't been explained to him, but at least he knows the location where it
No,
was
I
found.
don't. If he's worked on it, I don't think he would settle with not knowing the 9
Well,
clues.
after
is.
Jack leaves and it's over, it's like, hey, Grandpa, come on. It's been 10 years.
Exactly.
Finally tell me what this was. You know, how do you not have
Exactly.
that conversation with your grandfather? Yeah.
Exactly.
Cynthia said tonight that Shiloh was in the room when Jack was telling Forrest about the location. So you must know if that's true.
No, that is, people pointed out the Starbucks cup that was in the corner of the picture. And it is the one. Sandy, was that you that talked about this? Someone.
I thought that was in the uncropped photos, not the crop
Just
photos.
because I'm a basic white girl does not mean I'm a Starbucks detective.
Someone that knows Shiloh talked about Shiloh and how he had to have Starbucks every morning or whatever. And I got my information from someone else that knew Shiloh. So,
But you need to have Starbucks. That narrows it down to 56 million people in America.
if someone drove people during a pandemic are going to be in with a lawyer while the treasure's there.
I'm just Josh.
I heard it was Shiloh that was photoshopped out of the picture. I don't know.
It probably will.
Has anybody asked Jack who took the picture?
Has he answered? I'm sure they've asked him. I don't know if he's answered.
Yeah.
You know.
I can't believe it. June, and it's now March, and this is still going on.
Well, we've got 3 months, basically 3 months and a week until the 1-year anniversary when it's been found. Do you guys think anything will come out on June 6th of this year? D-Day once again, all you conspiracy theory people.
The lawsuits really need to be cleaned up. They need to be all wrapped up and tied with a neat little bow, because that really puts a crimp in everything.
Future Gold Channel says, I heard the Starbucks cup just randomly blew into the picture.
That's good.
That's pretty good. All right. Anything else, K Pro, or should we wrap this up? We're coming up on 2 hours, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
for
think
hanging
we
out with
wrap
us.
up because after, okay, this is just general state of the chase. We now will go into particular topics and specific things that we either, maybe people that are working on finding that final location, maybe Jack's emails, maybe, this is the one thing that I will say, and I will get off my soapbox quickly, I promise. I believe that every part of this chase has been important. From 2010, when this kicked off, individuals that were in early, the people that have passed away, the random searcher like you and me and you and you and you, the people that filed lawsuits, Jack and Forrest. I say this about all of you, and I had this talk with Forrest, and now I've had this talk with Jack. All of us are maybe not equal, but all of us are important. Nobody is above this chase to say it's over now, because this is where I met my husband. This is where I met my friends. This is where I met so many of you. This is bigger. We're going to be talking about it. We're not going anywhere. And if the solve comes out tomorrow, we're going to be talking about that for a while. Lack of data and information, of course there's going to be conspiracies. Certain individuals have that control and have that ability to get us and gear us. Why do you think Forrest put out a random scrapbook here and there, or random words or weekly words or whatever it was? Because it kept us, I think, a little bit more on track. I believe there's certain individuals that can change that for us, but we have our guiding light. We're going to do shows at least once a week, maybe more, because there is a lot to talk about. So from here on, we just kind of get our general consensus from about 15 people. We still have a lot more that we haven't even brought on panels, but I will start putting out topics on Thor and on Facebook, Cowlazars Grand Adventure. And if you have a particular opinion about that topic, we're going to try to limit to 6. We could have gone a couple more weeks on just general on the chase, but I think we have some particular topics. Let us know what it is. I think we should do, hold on, whatever Cynthia's video is on Sunday, we should do a show on it on Monday. But I think there's going to be a ton to talk about, especially going into search season, because some are still searching.
Well, not only that, the camaraderie. You know, one thing that this little group of people here and the people in the chat, we've met each other in person. We've experienced highs and lows, you know, when we all were wondering, oh my God, where's Susie? You know, when she just wanted to take a break. We've been trapped in COVID together. We've been in touch with each other, and because of the interactivity of this kind of show and some of the things like the Fenbury and the poker tournament and things like that that have grown out of the treasure hunt, it's hard. You don't necessarily want to let go of the people that you've, you know, become buddies with. I would have loved to go to your wedding, but I'm not going anywhere in COVID. Sorry. Love you, Christy. But, you know, it's that kind of thing. It's difficult once you've made a community like we have. And Davio, I'm, you know, praying for you in California. And, you know, you need to not like completely disappear, because we all want to know how that goes. Whether you're looking for the Forrest Fenn treasure or you're done with it, there's people in this community that care about you. And we just are going to miss having you around if you just like disappear on us. That's, you know, it doesn't matter what's going on with the Fenn treasure. Everybody that's on this panel, there's people that are in this community that care about you.
Very nice. It's very, very nice. I've been really overwhelmed with nice things people have said. Just meeting people live that you know that you kind of read about on here has been really neat. It's been really, really cool. So yes, I think we all have gotten together from different reasons. You know, stresses, losses. We need a distraction. Can't take enough drugs. Hey, let's do treasure hunting. Hey, all right, you know, so take your Adderall and let's go. You know,
I was gonna say, not only negatives, we got together for a wedding. I
the wedding.
randomly met Davio in an airport, and I'm like, I have a 5-hour layover. I have plenty of time. And
That's
I'm like,
cool.
Davio, I gotta get to my plane. 5 hours later, we're talking as friends. That's what we
Yeah,
are, and
it's
no
fun.
one's stopping. No one is going to stop that,
No.
The Detroit meetup was fun.
right?
Oh yeah, poker
We
to
had
the
a-
wee hours of the morning. Yeah, it
Oh
was
my
fun.
God, that was so fun. You know,
I think
so
I think the imagination that this is woke up in everybody can't die. You know what I mean? It's going to be around. It's a thing.
we're
It's a
we're
thing.
connected. We're
Yeah.
connected.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's got to keep going somehow. Which
And
reminds
I
me,
want-
right now I'm breaking out my new book, How to Find. No, I'm kidding.
And I really want. I think I would be really disappointed if Cynthia stopped searching, because like I said, my money's on her. If anybody can figure this out, she can. And whatever team you have behind you, the whole entourage.
I
So
love it.
it's
I get the impression Cynthia's never going to stop searching. Is that right, Cynthia?
until she knows.
Until it's confirmed.
Good for you.
Yeah.
The
Good
buyer.
for you.
I don't think Cynthia's going to stop until she actually sees the treasure chest in person. Personally,
I don't think it's a treasure chest. Cynthia, you and I have talked about this. So I'm a cheater because I have super secret information. It's not about the treasure chest for Cynthia or some of us. I would pay more for the solve than I would for the treasure chest. I want to know the special
Ooh.
place. I worked on the poem. I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at opening the box. Sure, I dreamed more about like figuring it out. And I think if I'm going to talk for Cynthia, I think that's what Cynthia and the connection that some of us made with Forrest. I want to know. Damn it. Damn it.
we all want to know. We all want that closure. Well, we've got to close this panel for this Monday night. But remember, every Monday night, we're going to continue on. If you want to be on the panel, maybe you've never been on YouTube before. Maybe you never even looked for Forrest Fenn's treasure, but you still have an opinion about how it ended. Email kpro3@aol.com if you want to come on. Email myself, cowlazars@gmail.com. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. It was a lot of fun. 2 hours goes by just that quick.
Wait. Cynthia wants to say something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to put a quick request out there to anybody that has any emails, questions and answers from Jack, especially if they pertain to any of the 9 clues or the poem as a whole or Fenn's special place, and you want to share them with me, I would be so thrilled you would. And my email is cynthiaameacham@gmail.com.
And I would invite everybody to go to subscribe to her channel. What's the name of the YouTube channel, Cynthia?
I'm not the finder.
I'm not the finder.
You really made a channel name that. I love it. Oh, that's classic.
I'm not the finder, but in Puerto Rico is nice and warm.
Hey, Mike, do
Yeah.
you want to show that picture of Jack in Puerto Rico, or should we leave that be?
Oh, yeah. We actually did
Oh,
get a
show it.
live picture, everybody. Check it out. There it is. That is a live shot of Puerto Rico. I don't know if you guys can see where Jack is or not. Look real close, but this is a candid shot that a searcher
He's
took. It's
Down
crazy.
At the bottom.
There it is.
It's like,
Oh
where's
my
Waldo?
gosh.
There's
You're
Jack.
trolling me. You're trolling us.
Breaking news.
I see him. I see
Breaking
him.
news.
I can't believe the stick and the Starbucks cup isn't in here.
That's
as well.
funny. Look at the little
Right,
face down
right.
at the bottom.
We got this net from Packer Jack,
G-
actually. So thank you, Packer.
GPS solve written on the wall. I see it. GPS solve.
And Jack, don't get upset at stuff like this. We all just having some fun.
That's pretty cute. That's pretty cute.
That's a whoever thought that up.
But I do
Kudos.
want to say, Jack, if you're upset at the source because of the stupid GPS solve, so am I. I think you should put out a press release about that jerk. I agree.
Yeah, that wasn't nice.
Yeah, Jack, I understand how mad you are about that, Jack. I think you should say something about it, Jack. Prove the source wrong. Put out the solve.
Yeah.
I say, Jack, don't do anything that's gonna jeopardize your ass. Keep your mouth shut until you're told to.
Mute her, please. Mute her, please.
Just keep doing what you're doing, Jack. Just keep doing what you're doing.
We love you, Jack. Be well.
Jack
All right.
said no.
So what I'm going to do, because it is all about the community, everybody. These are what these panels are all about, giving people an outlet. I'm going to end it with the tribute video we did with Rick's song, with your permission, Rick. I'll just show that song that we played.
Great.
All right. So if everybody mutes, I'm going to go ahead and play that song real quick.
I'm going to leave you guys. Much love to everyone. Ciao. Thanks, you guys.
you.
Bye.
See you later.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Davio, love you.
Ciao.
Do it
Love you
again.
guys.
And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Every Monday night, Thursday nights at Treasure Hunt Amusement Park, there are other treasure hunts out there, believe it or not. All right, here we go. Let's see if I can get it up here.
So why do you engage with searchers? You gave a couple of good examples. You're hearing some aspiring stories.
Why do I engage with them?
Mhm.
That's the only thing I have left.
So-
Tell me not in mournful numbers, life is but an empty dream. For the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are never what they seem.
Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that we treasured between you and me. Now you say you are leaving with words that sound tired. The space can't be measured. Too bad that you can't see. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that were treasured between you and me. Your heart is gone and wandering, and you're looking anew. I hope he's someone you've admired, whomever he be. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that were treasured between you and me. And if things are different now, and this new love is true, I'll cry forever in my dreams. My tears are salty as the sea. There'll be forever too much distance in my reverie. Like a sweet melody, the treasured between you and me. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that were treasured between you and me. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that we treasured between you and me. Now you say you are leaving with words that sound tired. The space can't be measured. Too bad that you can't see. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that were treasured between you and me. And if your heart has gone wandering and you're looking anew, I hope he's someone you've admired, whomever he be. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that were treasured between you and me. And if things are different now, and this new love is true, I'll cry forever in my dreams. My tears are salty as the sea. There'll be forever too much distance in my reverie. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that were treasured between you and me. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that were treasured between you